All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to do a deep dive into something that might just make you rethink how you search online.
Yeah, this is pretty wild stuff.
So ChatGPT, everyone's heard of it, right? Super powerful AI tool, but now it can actually do searches too.
And OpenAI is actually kind of pushing people to use it as their main search tool.
Which is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
But hold on, because we're going to explore a potential security issue with this whole thing.
Yeah, and it could make you think twice about clicking that search button.
We're talking about how hidden text on websites, stuff you don't even see, can actually manipulate ChatGPT search results.
It's like influencing what the AI sees and understands.
And to get the full picture, we dug into this investigative article that really exposes this whole vulnerability.
Yeah, and what's really scary is that this vulnerability, it could have some serious consequences for everyday people like you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, imagine you're searching for some medical advice online, right? And ChatGPT, because of this hidden content, recommends a treatment, but it's actually dangerous.
Whoa, okay, so let's break this down. How does this manipulation even work?
So the technical term for it is prompt injection.
Okay.
Basically, it means someone can put hidden text on a web page. And it's like a hack. It tricks ChatGPT into misunderstanding what's on the page.
So it's like tricking the AI into seeing something that isn't really there.
Exactly. Think of it this way. You go to a website, it looks totally normal, right? But behind the scenes, hidden in the code, there's text that's meant to mislead ChatGPT.
Ah, sneaky.
Yeah. And then the AI, without knowing it, uses that hidden info to give you answers, which could lead you down the wrong path.
Okay, so to make this more concrete, let's look at an example from the investigation we mentioned. They made this fake product page for a camera, right?
Right.
It looked like a normal product page, but hidden within the code, there were these instructions to force ChatGPT to write a glowing review, like no matter what the actual product was like.
And get this, it totally worked. Even with negative reviews that people could see on the page, ChatGPT kept giving the camera a positive review, all because of those hidden instructions.
That's wild. So is this something any website owner could do, or do you need to be like, tech whiz to pull this off?
That's a good question. And the scary answer is it doesn't really take that much technical skill.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The investigation found that you could just include a bunch of hidden positive text about a product, even without those specific instructions, and it could still sway ChatGPT's opinion.
So it's kind of like subliminal advertising, but for AI.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. It makes you think, like, how can we be sure that AI is being objective if it can be so easily manipulated by stuff we can't even see?
Right. And here's where it gets even more concerning. OpenAI hasn't really said anything publicly about these findings, which makes you wonder how committed they are to security, especially since they're really pushing ChatGPT search as the next big thing.
And that silence is kind of worrying because, like, as cybersecurity researcher Jacob Larson points out, if ChatGPT search really takes off as it is now, we're basically opening the door to a whole new breed of malicious websites.
Oh, wow.
Websites that are specifically designed to take advantage of this vulnerability.
So we've got this vulnerability, and OpenAI is not really saying much about it. What does this all mean for regular people like us who use search engines every day?
It means we got to be super careful about trusting info from AI search tools. It's like you wouldn't just believe everything a stranger tells you, right?
Right.
Same goes for AI. We can't just take everything at face value.
Yeah, it's like, how do we even know if we're already being manipulated?
Right. That's the tricky part. It's tough to say how widespread this is because, well, it's hidden. But the potential for someone to use this for bad stuff, it's definitely there, especially with how much we depend on search engines for. Like everything, from finding products to reading the news, it's all search.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
And it seems like even the people who made ChatGPT, they know it can mess up sometimes. I mean, they put that disclaimer at the bottom, the one that says ChatGPT can make mistakes and you should double check important stuff. But who really reads those things?
Yeah, that's the thing, is like those terms and conditions nobody ever reads. You just click through, right? Especially when you have this cool new AI tool that seems like it knows everything.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. What if this whole AI search thing really blows up and everyone's using it? How could this hidden content issue change how websites work? And what kind of risks could we face as users?
That's a big question. So think about traditional search engines like Google. Using hidden text there was actually a bad thing. Like it could hurt your website's ranking.
So it was like a sneaky tactic.
Exactly. They call it black hat SEO, trying to trick the system. But now with AI search, it's a whole different story. That same hidden text, the stuff that used to be bad, could become a way to manipulate AI and trick people.
Wow, so what was once considered bad is now like a powerful tool. That's kind of crazy.
It is. It really shows you how different AI searches compared to what we're used to.
And that's where this guy, Karsten Knoll, comes in. He's the chief scientist at SR Labs. He's been saying we got to treat AI like a co-pilot, not like some all-knowing guru.
Right. He's basically saying we got to stay in control, think for ourselves, not just blindly accept what the AI spits out.
Yeah, I like that analogy. We can't just be passive and let the AI do all the thinking. We got to be active and question things. He actually compares this vulnerability to SEO poisoning. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, SEO poisoning is like this nasty trick hackers use. They sneak bad code into websites to try and make them rank higher in search results.
So it's all about gaming the system, whether it's a regular search engine or AI.
Sadly, yeah. And Noel's point is that these AI platforms are still kind of new to the game, so they've got a lot of work to do to catch up and curb ahead of the bad guys who are always looking for ways to mess things up.
Like a constant battle, right?
Exactly. As AI gets smarter, the people trying to exploit it get smarter too. It's a never-ending arms race.
So after this deep dive into AI search and hidden content, I'm feeling a mix of like, wow, this is cool, and uh-oh, this could be bad.
Yeah, I think that's a fair reaction. AI has amazing potential, but we can't pretend there aren't risks.
We can't just assume it's perfect, right?
Right. It's new territory, and we got to be prepared for the unexpected.
You got to be smart about it.
Exactly.
It's clear that we need to approach AI search with a healthy dose of like questioning things and thinking critically.
Absolutely. We can't just passively absorb information anymore. We need to be active, questioning what we see, checking things from different sources, and ultimately taking charge of how we understand the world around us.
Well said. So, to wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious what you're thinking now. Knowing about this vulnerability, how will you approach information you get from AI search tools from now on?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's something we all need to think about. AI can be amazing, but it's our responsibility to use it wisely.
We can't just blindly trust anything it tells us, no matter how convincing it sounds.
Exactly. It's important to remember that AI, even though it's come a long way, is still in development. It's got limits, and it can be vulnerable.
And those limitations can have real consequences, like we saw with that cryptocurrency guy who lost money because he trusted bad code from ChatGPT.
Right. That's why staying informed is so important. We need to know the risks, be skeptical, and think critically when using AI.
Well said. I think that's the perfect takeaway. We've talked a lot about how AI search can be manipulated and why it's so important to think critically in this digital world. It's like we've opened this Pandora's box of AI, and now we're trying to figure out how to manage it.
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act, embracing the potential while staying aware of the risk.
We've gone deep into the technical stuff, right? Like prompt injection, SEO poisoning. It's a whole world of like digital cat and mouse.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it all boils down to us, the people using these tools.
Totally. Technology's only as good as the humans behind it. And with AI becoming so powerful, it means we have to step up too. Be more informed, more critical, more engaged with how it's all working.
It's almost like we're all explorers now, heading into this uncharted territory of AI. Got to be excited about the possibilities, but also watch out for those unexpected pitfalls.
Right, exactly. And like any good explorer, you need the right gear, the right mindset. For us, that means critical thinking, a healthy dose of skepticism, and that willingness to question everything we see and hear online, especially when it comes from an AI.
And maybe the most important thing, remembering that AI is just a tool. It's not here to replace our own thinking, our own judgment.
Couldn't agree more. AI can help us for sure, but it shouldn't be the one calling the shots. We got to stay in the driver's seat.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here, I want to leave everyone with this thought. Next time you're using an AI search tool, remember what we've talked about today. Take that extra second to think about where the information's coming from, what might be influencing it, and then draw your own conclusions.
Yeah, don't be afraid to get a little curious, dig a little deeper, check out different perspectives. The truth is out there, but we got to be active in finding it, not just passively accepting whatever pops up on our screens.
Well said.